And your mind is a roller coaster. And those moments of chaos that exist in growing a small business, you have to have moments where you step back, breathe, and go, okay, it's going to be okay.
Dave, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken in this business, and do you think that it paid off?
My wife, who's a clinical psychologist, turned to me after an online Teams meeting with my then job and said, "You're miserable." And I said, I am. She said, "If you're miserable, make a change." And I said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to quit and I want to start backing DS because, I could see the opportunity to actually progress this business from being just an installation business to an EPC. And I had a bit of a vision of what that looked like and how we had to do it and all the rest of it. And so I gave up a really well-paying job to earn nothing.
So it was a real sacrifice.
It was a real sacrifice, and it was a real risk for not only me, but for my family and my very patient wife, who, continues to have to maintain patience because, the joys of owning your own business are that banks don't really like you. They want to see someone else is carrying the risk for it. And it was a well-paying job, and I turned it into a, hey, have we got any money to pay me this month?
What I love about that is that you're still married, happily, from what I can tell, and you've hedged the risk because she pushed you in the first instance, right?
No, the funny part of it was that 10 minutes after we had the conversation, I'd resigned.
You were ready.
I said, "I've resigned." She goes, "What do you mean you resigned?" I said, "Well, we had the conversation and I resigned."
What is your favourite book or movie that's inspired you in your business journey?
I think this book in particular provides you with a bit of guidance around, well, it is a journey and there are things that will come at you and there are things that will feel painful and there'll be moments of joy and there'll be moments of sadness and there'll be all the emotions that come with running a small business. But at the end of it, you're backing yourself and your team to succeed.
Is there something you wish you'd done earlier that either you did later or you haven't done yet?
Growth is expensive, and no one tells you this. No one says, hey, if you win that next big project, you're actually going to need money to fund that big project. And as you go bigger, you're going to need more money. You're also going to have to put some aside to make sure you've got some when times are a little tougher. Actually, bringing on a partner earlier that could strategically help us with that growth, I probably would have done it a little earlier.
Mm-hmm. What's something about running a business that no one tells you?
You don't reflect on some of the loneliness. You've got people, you've got finances, you've got clients, you've got all of these things that go on. And as we spoke about before, just around the fact that when you walk into the office, you want to actually make sure that you are together, that you're holding your own, that you're actually have a calmness about you that inspires other people to actually be calm. That's not that bad. I might have made a mistake, but I'll fix it and we'll move forward.
We'll get through
those things. And so at times you sit there and go, I feel all of this on myself. All of this weight, and particularly now, like we turn over 20 mil. We've got overheads of 3.5. There's 40 people, that's 40 families. That's all depending on success of this business. And you get a little hiccup and go, oh, geez, where's that coming from? I think for any young entrepreneur, it's about that, okay, who is that mentor you can go and talk to? Who's someone you can actually sound that out with? And so having those people around you who are willing to give you their time and invest in you and the business from just being a sounding board for, hey, I'm in a tricky position. Given your wisdom, can you help me get out of this? And not help me, just help me solve for it and being able
help me.
Help me.
Do you recommend that people marry a clinical psychologist? Are there any business skills that you actually think are underrated?
It's a hard one to actually learn how to manage people. There's a difference between leadership and management. We all think of leaders and you think of a great William Wallace in Braveheart and, follow me into battle and I'm a lunatic and we'll all win. Whereas actually management of people and having that empathy for people and being able to connect with different people because, a business is made up of so many different skill sets. That's a really hard skill, So how do you go and connect with the 21-year-old graduate who is house sharing?
How do you? What's the answer?
Oh, that's right, be curious.
Yeah, okay.
An interesting thing we do is an International Food Day.
Oh, okay,
where
awesome.
Everyone brings in a food, and it's the most popular event we have, I think.
And what's one thing you'd never do again in your business, if there is anything at all?
Hiring people because you felt desperate to hire them rather than because you felt they were good for the company.
What's the best investment you ever made in your business?
Oh, good people.
Yeah.
Even when we're living in a little shed with dirt hard stand out the back, it was still about trying to find good people to actually bring into the business.
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? And it can't be playing hooker for Australia.
I've tried that comeback, it didn't work. What's your dream job? Wallaby coach.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Well, other than go and read over places you'd go, being involved with the rugby club, one of the key things is you stand in front of some people and they go, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be all of this. And at 18, I don't think you actually know yourself. And we all, we've had a bunch of college reunions of late. And so you're in college, 18, 19, and I talk about the college system as being school with an element of freedom. You've had school where every opportunity is available to you. You want to sing in the choir, you want to be an actor, you want to play rugby, you want to row, you want to be an academic, you want to debate, you want to do whatever you want to do is available to you as a kid. And you go into college and all of a sudden you're adding alcohol, freedom of being an adult, the opportunity to make choices. Do I turn up to lectures or not? But you also meet this eclectic mix of people who then help form who it is you want to be when you grow up. And I think for me, it's you don't need to answer that now. Enjoy the journey, knowing that we're hopefully on this planet for a long time, and you've hopefully got the opportunities. But be kind, be respectful, work hard, and do all those things and apply yourself. Ted Lasso says it. He said he's kind of running around on Facebook at the moment, the meme with him playing darts, and he says, be curious, be curious. You never know how interesting someone is unless you actually walk up and talk to them.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm asking you these questions today.